Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and we are back to discuss a new film on Netflix. It is A House of Dynamite, directed by Kathryn Bigelow. Long awaited for this one with a crazy ensemble cast that includes Rebecca Ferguson, Idris Elba, Willa Fitzgerald, Jared Harris, Anthony Ramos. I feel like I'm forgetting people. There's like so many people in this movie. I don't know. But I'm going to be one of your hosts for this episode. My name is Darian Liz. I am joined by Liz Seiko.
What's happening?
So this movie was one that I remember when Netflix acquired a Kathryn Bigelow movie. It was like a big deal. They were like, it's going to be another movie in what I guess is kind of, we were talking before we started rolling, of her niche of like these war movies. Her biggest films ever were Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. In between those two, she made Detroit, which I haven't seen. Have you seen Detroit?
I have.
You have, okay. So, full disclosure, I have only seen Zero Dark 30, but I absolutely adore that movie. And so I was excited to see this one, and I like the ensemble cast. I didn't know much about it other than it deals with a nuclear strike heading towards the United States. That's all I had known, and kind of how different sectors of the military and the government would be dealing with said entity. And that's kind of what the movie is. So before getting into spoilers, I guess we'll just give kind of our brief, broad thoughts on the movie and our perspective on what we think about it. So Liz, if you'd like to kick us off, what do you think about A House of Dynamite?
I'll kick us off. The beginning, it has you sad. The beginning, you're okay. I want to see where this goes. It does move very quick in the beginning, and then all of a sudden the screenplay really, really just drops. And there's no progression in the storyline. Actually, there's truly no progression in the storyline because you just eventually start seeing the same sequences over and over and over again, which is disappointing because when you are trying to deal with like time lapse from different characters' point of view, you want it to then kind of come to like a big crescendo at the end of something big and bold and just a very big statement. And unfortunately, I just don't think that they delivered really any type of solid ending. And so I'm interested to hear your thoughts because I think that there's really strong performances. I mean, the cast is wild. I'm just so confused on like why all these people thought that this screenplay, when they read it, was going to be like the most amazing thing ever, because I just feel like unless the script changed over time. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling right now. Those are my first thoughts.
Okay.
TJ,
No. I got you. So I will say this. I think this is a case of one of those things where the actors see who the filmmaker is and they go, I'd love to work with that person. Just sign me up.
I guess.
I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Now, it's not to say, obviously, not all these actors saw a script beforehand, because you would hope and think that they did.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that it's a Netflix movie. I think that might also kind of play into it. Not that I actually think, and we'll get into this towards the end of the year, I think Netflix is having their best year ever in terms of like awards fair. In terms of movies that like they're actually swinging for the fences with for the awards season. I mean, it completely tops last year's debacle with Amelia Perez, but this is an example of doing that poorly. And I think that, so the only movie I could think of while watching this is a film that I saw when I was younger called Vantage Point. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't. I've never even heard of it.
Okay,
actually.
the crazy thing is that Vantage Point is like sometimes a laughed at movie because it does the same thing and it actually gives you more perspectives.
Okay.
But it's actually more interesting than this movie, which is crazy because it's a less illustrious crew behind it. And I mean, the great actors still in it: Forrest Whitaker, Dennis Quaid, Matthew Fox, Edgar Ramirez, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, William Hurt. Like, still a great cast.
Yeah.
But this movie, you had said this before we started rolling, and I 100% agree with you. This is a short film that just manages to give you three different perspectives to extend the story.
Yeah.
And that is the sad reality of what this is. Now, they could have had a better outcome, without giving away spoilers, with maybe something happening that is worth it in the end. We can't talk about what happens yet in the end.
No, but they needed to do something, and they did nothing at the end. Essentially, is what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that is the unfortunate reality that brought us to, I think, our overall thoughts on the movie, because what it leaves you with is always, I like to think it's the most important thing, because if you have a really strong ending, it can at least hook you in a way and be like, oh, okay, well, I see what they were going for there. Maybe I could appreciate it more over time. Maybe I could see. But when you have an ending that falls flat like that, it's really hard to recover.
Yeah, and I can also appreciate like an open-ended,
Like an ambiguous
yes,
ending.
Yeah, like there's not a solid answer. It kind of gets you thinking. It ignites conversation amongst viewers. This felt like a whole final scene was missing. Like it just kind of ended, and you were like, "What the hell?" So
yeah, by the time the ending came, that was my exact reaction. I said, "Oh, really?"
I know.
And then it was over.
I know.
And I was like, okay, I don't know if I needed to watch this movie.
No,
but
you could have watched the first 30 minutes
Yes.
and been satisfied.
Yeah.
Like the first 30 minutes for me, I think are very tight.
Yeah, all right, let's jump into the movie. We're going to start talking
Yeah.
a little bit of spoilers at this point. So if you haven't seen A House of Dynamite, it is on Netflix for you guys to stream at home right now if you guys want to check it out. So feel free to do that. But at this point, we're going to jump into more of the spoilery conversation with the film. So we're going to do that.
Okay, so the first 30 minutes, I think, throw you right into the like drama, into the situation of you're on like a missile base. They don't tell you where, you're within the army, and you're trying to kind of figure out like, okay, what are we about to like get into? And I mean, we can talk about some of the performances. I think right from the bat, I enjoyed like that group of like starring Anthony Ramos. I know that you have some other thoughts on him for this. Is it for this film you didn't like him, or is it?
No, I want to. All right, let's
I think we
address
need
let's
to
address
do
the
it.
elephant in
Yeah,
the room.
like,
You want to address the elephant in the room,
do,
Liz?
Because I feel like
All right.
like
Here are my
is your
thoughts.
opinion changed just because it was him, or is it because of
No,
the film?
100% no. So I want to say this because one of the first things I saw him in was In the Heights, which he's he's an incredibly talented musical performer.
Yeah.
He was in Hamilton. He is great in the Heights. I actually think I was somebody who liked In the Heights more than majority of people because I feel like I got some pretty negative reviews. I saw the stage show on Broadway. I loved it. Thought he was great in Lin-Manuel Miranda's role in the movie. My issue is that when he's not doing something that forces him to be eccentric and charismatic, for the most part, he is the exact same actor in everything else that he's done. He's the exact same character in this that he is in Dumb Money. You know what the problem with that is? Is that in Dumb Money, he plays a GameStop employee. In this, he plays a general in a military base. There's no difference in terms of his acting. I just see the same. There's no change in emotion. There's no change in range. There's no change in it. Now, you have more of the acting background, but from me, seeing him in performances like those, he's very one note. And I think he's capable of more. Like, so I don't know if you've ever seen, they did a Netflix show, and this is early in his acting career. They did a show on Netflix that was based on the Spike Lee movie, She's Gotta Have It. It was basically a reimagining. They were just doing it as a series instead of a film. He plays Spike Lee's part in the show.
Okay.
And it was the first time I saw him, and I thought he was great. So it's not an Anthony Ramos, like, in this movie problem. It's the fact that, like, he needs to be pushed more, maybe. He needs to be doing things very different than what he's doing. But again, like, in this sort of scenario, like, there should have been more of a tenseness with the severity of the situation, and you don't see it at all in this movie. In like, I get the exact same performance out of him in this than I get in Dumb Money, where he plays a GameStop employee, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about all of this because, so I do feel like one, just as his career, let me talk about his career first. I think that he's still at a place where he needs to be playing the same character. He's not name recognized yet by like a household. Like he's not a household recognized name yet. And he's not doing lead roles. He's still playing side supporting characters. And really the only way for a young actor like he is with like a younger resume to keep getting work is to try to build like your platform of the roles that you absolutely know and can land until you have that opportunity to branch out into more character roles. I mean, it's the same thing with like, I know she's very controversial right now, but Sydney Sweeney, that girl plays the same person over and over again until she just got this most recent role of Christy.
Okay, it's fair.
So I think he just hasn't really had such a long career yet where he's able to flex his wings. Another thing, and now I'll get a little bit more into the film, I think now that I've seen the entire film, they wanted his character to kind of not be like a like typical army person, because I think they want to show that these people that are running the government and running the army and taking care of these like missile bombs are just regular people that also have their own problems, and they're not like these perfect militant people, because they also kind of don't know what's going on.
I think it's fair. Again, I just think that in regard of the circumstances, like I feel like there should be some sort of difference in performance between this, Dumb Money, and Twisters. And there's not. It's the same character in all three movies. Because this is one of the, so I think the one thing I will disagree with you with is he's had the opportunity to lead two different films.
Which one?
He led In the Heights, which is a musical, again.
Yeah, but that was very different than what he's been doing.
Yes, I agree. But he also had a chance to lead a franchise movie with Transformers, and it was terrible. So, like, he
was in Transformers?
The most recent Transformers film was him and Dominique Fishback. Yeah,
oh, I don't
with the two leads.
I didn't even realize.
So, it's things like that. Again, like, and I'll say this, because a lot of franchise movies... he was also in one of the Godzilla films, and Vinny's actually producing this, and I know Vinny's said the same thing. We've had conversations about this, that some of like those bigger franchise stuff, you get buried under the CGI and all of that is, but you can like there are certain actors that I think can take opportunities in those kinds of films. Like, for example, in this movie in particular, there's an actor, I've never seen him before, and he has a phone call. He's in the same storyline with Anthony Ramos' character in the military base. I think you probably remember what I'm talking about.
The guy who's eating like the Doritos.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's great in the movie. Now, he gets the phone call. It's Anthony Ramos. Why isn't Anthony Ramos getting the phone call? That's my point, is that he is not the type of actor yet, I guess, that is taking opportunity to play with his roles. Like, he's not showcasing anything different. And like I said, I don't think he's not capable. I've seen that he can be good in certain things and he can have charisma. Again, even not in a musical, like within She's Gotta Have It. So Anthony Ramos, I'm just a bit disappointed, buddy.
So then,
I want to see you do more with what you have. That's what I want. I'm rooting for you. I am.
So then I have a question. Like, for me, I was very invested in the first 30 minutes because of him leading the first 30 minutes. Did it make you not as invested, or did you still think that it was a solid beginning?
So I think it was I do think the beginning was the strongest part. The first 30 minutes is the strongest.
I agree.
But it's not because of him. It's because of Rebecca Ferguson.
Well, of course. I mean, she's the main, but he gets you, his character.
He thrusts you into the story.
Yes.
Yes, which is fine. I mean, you open basically like what you kind of talked about a little bit without giving it directly away. He's having a conversation with somebody clearly where it goes sideways, and it's dealing with like the everyday occurrences of like maybe having a fight with a loved one. And then you get thrust into a nuclear bomb is heading towards the United States. And it's like, oh, in the grand scheme of things, like we all got the same problems, but now these people are in control of nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Which I like that he kind of gave that element of it. And I've seen people that have worked in the military be appreciative of that. Like even that, like some people are complaining online about the Doritos scene. And it's like, no, it's like people do things they're not supposed to do in the military, just like we as human beings do things we're not supposed to do.
It's still a job at the end of the day.
Yes, 100%. Now, Rebecca Ferguson, I think is just fantastic. I just think she's a level above everybody else.
I mean, she's just a brilliant actor.
She is. She's an unbelievable actor. I love to see her get the spotlight. And this is the other thing. I think Kathryn Bigelow obviously really knows how to write women in powerful positions. She's been known to do that now for quite a while. She got Jessica Chastain an Oscar nomination for Zero Dark 30. And I think that if Rebecca Ferguson had more to do in this, and it wasn't a 20-minute performance, she probably could be nominated as well if we get more of what she's trying to do, because I think she's great in it. Jason Clarke, I think, is great in this movie. Tracy Letts, who, again, is like a screenwriter and he acts a lot in theater. He's great in this movie. Jared Harris.
I love him.
Jared Harris. Now, Jared Harris is an example of an actor that does so much with so little.
Yeah.
Every time he's on screen, we get him for probably the same amount of screen time that we get Ramos for. And what he does is memorable. I mean, you get it from the start of his morning on a golf course to just trying to enjoy his life and just trying to get a quick 9 in before work to literally walking off a building, which is like
always
such a
plays characters
that kill themselves.
Like what?
I know. Jared, please stay with us, buddy.
What's going on?
we need to have a conversation. Come on the pod. We want you to know that you're a fine actor and everybody loves you. But no, the first 30 minutes, like, especially because 14 minutes into the actual runtime of the film is when things kick into gear.
Yeah.
So I would say that the first storyline, the first 30 minutes, because from that point too, 14 minutes in terms of regular runtime. We then get 19 minutes until potential impact in the United States.
Yes.
So I think that is really great. I think you feel the tension. I think that the technical aspects of the movie are really strong. I think the score is really great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the movie would have probably just in general played better in theaters also because it has more of those technical aspects. But at the same time, there's no action that winds up happening, which is, I don't want to jump all the way to the end, but like, then you start to see that we're just getting the same perspective from 3 different points of view.
Yes, with no new information being brought up. That, I think, is truly the real flaw of this film, is that if you're going to do the like regurgitation of some information, you need to be able to bring in new elements. And like, yes, they were bringing in some slightly new things of like showing us some more information about who the president is or who like the Secretary of Defense is and stuff like that, but nothing actually to keep moving the plot moving forward.
No. And you don't have enough of a connection to any of these characters.
None.
To kind of feel.
You're kind of like, nobody knows what they're doing. Like, what are all these people? What are they getting paid for?
Yeah. There's a literal line of dialogue where they talk about how there's a 61% chance that we could stop the nuclear bomb. And Jared Harris screams at the screen, $50 billion all for a fucking coin toss.
Yeah.
And I will say, what it does capture in a depressing way is that the reality is that we put all this power into the hands of powerful people to, again, at the end of the day, they are just like us. And we have to kind of remember that these anomalies, these abnormalities that have been created, such as the nuclear bomb, which is what I think Oppenheimer did so beautifully with like crafting a story around what it is, and the man who created it. It again gives you that perspective of like, yeah, it doesn't matter what you try to do, like you might not be able to stop the inevitable. And to just think about the reality of that in 19 minutes, the whole city of Chicago could be wiped off the map like that. Now, the second part, I think, is by far the weakest chapter, where we get the perspective of Tracy Letts' character, because that really is a straight regurgitation of the first part, with the exception of getting to see Greta Lee, who we love. Yeah. But she doesn't really add anything to the movie either.
So I would say I think the second sequence just does the job of like pulling back the curtain a little bit from us, because I think the first sequence, it's just supposed to show us like what is the protocol, who's in charge, what are we supposed to be doing, and how does everything what's the plan when something like this occurs, versus the second sequence starts to show us like there actually is no plan, and there's just like a group set of people that kind of are just making guesses and like asking questions in order to make a huge decision. So I think that's what they were trying to do with the second part. Do I think it's done very well? Not really, because it also like that part was when I really started to notice the camera work. I really didn't like the camera work.
Well, a lot of it, I think a lot of it is handheld.
Which I usually don't mind, but it's weird handheld. It's not like on the ground.
There's not a lot of action to follow.
No, and it's like random zoom in, zoom out, zoom back in, like double zoom in, triple zoom in, and then pull out all the way. And you're like, why? What are we talking? What are we doing that we need all this work right now?
The weird thing is that it really only works. Again, a resident cinematographer, Vinny, is here. I feel like it only works when there's action to follow, or in the case of like sitcom, it's for comedic effect.
It's all the comments I see are like, why are we doing The Office right now for a film about like nuclear war?
Yeah. And so the weird thing is, I don't know if you knew this coming into the movie or anything, but I don't know what film festival it was, but I might have been New York Film Festival. There were people laughing at this movie, and it's like, so, it's not funny. There's no humor in this movie, like at all, like really at all.
No, but I can kind of like, I started to find it not like belly laugh, but definitely like,
what the fuck is happening?
Just kind of like me being like, what are these people doing? Because it almost becomes laughable because it's just, they don't know what they're doing. And a part of me is like, is it that they want us to think that the government doesn't know what they're doing? Or is it that they didn't know as filmmakers kind of what they were doing with the script at a certain point.
Yeah, which I think is fair, because at the end of the day, we get to a point where you're not really sure what this movie is.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can get into the third part now. So where the third part is from the perspective mostly of a character named only in the cast list is POTUS.
Mhm.
So all we know is that he is the president of the United States and is played by the wonderful Idris Elba, who's completely miscast in this role.
Yeah.
I think a great actor, a genuinely great actor, is not the right person. First of all, I am not the type of person to be like, let's kick British people out of movies. Why do we have a British actor playing the president of the United States? And he kind of has an accent.
Oh, that didn't even bother. I didn't even notice it.
Okay,
I didn't even notice that.
See,
so.
like, and that doesn't. I'm not like the type. Again, I'm not the type of person to be like, let's get like. No, obviously, Rebecca. Majority of this cast is British.
Yeah,
fine with it. The president of the United States, like, he has an accent.
I didn't even notice
like,
that.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It
took you out. It's fine.
It took me out of it.
Took you out.
And I just don't know if he represented like the stoicism of. Well, he clearly didn't. Because we get to a point where he's basically like, they didn't fucking prep me for this at all. We get to a point in the movie where there's a nuclear bomb heading to the country.
It's about to hit Chicago in like a minute and 30 seconds. And he's like, nobody prepped me for this. And I'm like,
by the way, no,
what?
I'm only saying this because you're not a sports fan.
Okay.
Do you realize where he is?
For the basketball thing?
Yeah.
No.
He's in Chicago, which I think would have actually added to the tension. It would have added to the tension of the movie.
No, I didn't know that at all.
Because they don't say it, and I don't know if that's again.
I just assumed everybody was in DC.
Yeah, no, he gets to Chicago and the only reason I say that is because Angel Reese, who they make a point to say 3 times in the movie, Angel Reese.
Yeah, I don't know who Angel Reese
She's a
is.
WNBA All-Star.
Okay.
But she plays for the Chicago team.
No, I don't.
In the WNBA. So like that, but they don't say that. So like the only reason I knew that and it added tension for me was because it was like, oh, he's in Chicago. Like, he's in Chicago right now. And there's a nuclear strike about to happen. Unless they're in DC, like, because they don't show the passage of time. I guess he has to be in DC. Right? Because he's in the White House.
I guess not, though, because then why do they put him in a helicopter?
Yeah.
And why does he, like, sadly wave to, like, his, like, right-hand guy when he gets into the helicopter, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird setup for the whole third part. They try to get some sympathy, obviously, when he calls his wife, who's not in the country. You don't really know what's happening. He's trying to get advice from his wife.
Yeah.
There's not a good connection, literally, on the phone.
Well, and so one thing also is, I don't know about you, but throughout the entire film prior to seeing who was POTUS, I was like, wow, this like whoever's playing POTUS, like they're really trying to make him seem like
an idiot.
Like an idiot and a huge dick, essentially. And then the big reveal comes of who's playing him. And he turns out to be like a very sweethearted, like caring for the people president.
Yeah.
But the entire rest of the film shows him as like he doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
So like it's just very contradictory. And I don't know if they wanted that to be like, oh, and now we're showing like the point of view that he may come off like as a douche, but like he's really not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what they were going for.
I don't know either.
That's the hard part. And so, moral of the story is, though this very massive attack is happening on our country, we decide that we don't get an outcome. That's what they decide.
We never find out.
We don't find out. We don't find out if it hit. We don't find out if we decided to retaliate, even though that's a very big point of emphasis from all 3 points of view. Do we have to retaliate? We should retaliate.
Yeah.
We don't know who sent it. Should we send it anywhere? Like,
we get absolutely nothing. I thought for a second that they were gonna do kind of the thing of like making the screen go dark, and then we just hear the aftermath of like Chicago getting imploded, essentially.
Yeah.
But no, it's
nothing.
Credits roll.
We don't even get one of those messages.
Nothing
At the end
of like what happened.
Be afraid of nuclear warfare.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely nothing.
Like, literally the screen just goes black, or it goes, I think it's like a white. It's like a flashbang kind of effect. And then it just goes, A House of Dynamite. And then the credits start rolling. And I'm like, really? Like, that's like, because like it's not ambiguous to the point where it's trying to make a point with anything, because it doesn't make a point. It doesn't take a stance. And that's where I think especially with, I don't think every movie needs to take a stance. I don't think every movie needs to take a political stance, but you are literally placing yourself in the middle of a fucking political conflict.
Yeah.
With this film, to not take a stance to me is just, I don't know. It's something where I don't appreciate then what the point of making the movie is in general.
I just don't know why this movie
was made,
to be honest.
I think that's fair.
Which I think we're also at the point in life where a ton of films are being made right now, and there doesn't need to be a statement, but there needs to be something that you want your audience to walk away with at the end of the day, whether it's an emotional change, just a new opinion, just a new conversation. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be like walking away thinking from this film.
Yeah, I don't know either. I will say, so that we talked a little bit about the script. Noah Oppenheim wrote the script. This is his fourth feature. He also wrote the series 0 Day, which was on Netflix, which is another political series with Robert De Niro as the president. I've actually watched 2 episodes of it. I actually really enjoy it from what I've seen. He also wrote Jackie, which is a film I enjoy.
Is this the truth? Is he the president of NBC News? That's what it says on IMDb.
Whoa. I don't know.
That's
Maybe
pretty
he is.
cray.
That's a very interesting tidbit with a political movie. That's weird, if that's true. He also wrote one of Liz's favorite movies of all time, The Maze Runner. So
I don't think The Maze Runner is a bad film.
That's why I said it's one of your favorite movies ever.
Bad.
He also wrote the sequel to Divergent, Allegiant. So he has experience in different realms. I also don't know if the strongest part of Jackie is the script either.
No.
To be fair.
No.
So maybe he should stick to NBC News. Maybe Noah Oppenheim should stick to NBC News and stop writing screenplays. This did not work for either of us, Noah. Please. But I'm sad because I wanted to really I love Kathryn Bigelow. I root for her. I want to see her do more films because even though she's a great director, she doesn't have a lot on her resume.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 8 years since she's made a film.
And
this is what it is. If you look at her IMDb for her feature films, this is definitely her lowest score. One of her lowest scores. The Weight of Water actually is her lowest, but everything. I mean, Hurt Locker 7.5, Zero Dark 30 7.4, even Detroit is 7.3, which you said you've seen.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean, overall, not too pleased with this movie. I was disappointed. You were as well, right?
I was, and like the thing is I can deal with kind of like disappointing films as long as there's some like entertainment to it. And truly, halfway through, I was like, I've seen all this already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, disappointed.
Yeah. I will say my unfortunate biggest standout is Jared Harris kind of committing suicide in a scene that does come as a shock.
Yeah.
Because, but you feel the emotional weight with it, with the conversation he has with Caitlin Deaver on the phone. And as soon as he says, I love you, and she just says, I gotta go, bye, Dad. I was like, oh, no, dude, no.
I know.
And it's done in a very effective and dramatic way, his death. So, there are still good performances in it, but I think other than that and the score, there's not much that I really liked about this film. So are you ready for scores?
I am.
All right. You want to go first, or you want me to take it?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to give this film a 5. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it. I can't really recommend it to people. I think that it's a powerful first 30 minutes. Could have been a short. Could have been a really good short. And then I think I would have appreciated like an unknown ending.
Yeah,
because
the ambiguity.
Like shorts kind of can play around like that more. But I don't know. For such a powerful cast, I'm really shocked this many people signed up for it. And I get it. It's Kathryn Bigelow. But like, I don't know. You still want to put out good work.
Yeah.
And the screenplay for me just falls short.
Yeah.
So it's a 5. It's a 5.
All right. I will say, at least to that last point, I will say again, I don't feel that there are too many bad performances in the movie. They're just kind of doing the best that they can do.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Gabriel Basso in anything, but I know he's big on Netflix for the show The Night Agent. I thought he was good. He impressed me with the little bit that he had in this. And whoever that actor is that was on the phone and called his mother, I wanted to see whatever he's in next because that impressed me. But having said that, I'm trying to get a little bit harsher with my reviews for films that I don't like.
Okay.
And so one movie that I covered recently was the Springsteen film, and I thought there was a lot more to like in that movie, and I gave that a 5. I thought it was a very mid movie. So I'm going to give this movie a 4.
All right.
Because I don't think I can get it to the midpoint. I can't really recommend it to anybody, but if maybe you'll like it. Maybe some people, it has a 6.5, so some people are fans of it. It just didn't really work for Liz or I. So
no.
Sorry, Kathryn. Sorry, Netflix. But let us know in the comments, what are your guys' thoughts on A House of Dynamite if you saw it. Did you guys agree with us? Were you guys let down with this film? Or maybe you guys actually really enjoyed it and you can present your points why you liked it in the comments below. We'd definitely love to have a conversation with you guys, and we're open to that. Give this video a like if you guys can, and subscribe to us here at the Culture Rave Media Network. We have tons of other reviews on the channel right now. We actually have a review up for another Netflix film called Train Dreams that isn't even on the service yet that you guys can check out. We have other reviews upcoming for Ballad of a Small Player, Jay Kelly on Netflix, Wake Up Dead Man, some films that we've already had a chance to see. And there's other reviews for other film and television on there as well. And you guys can follow us on social media if you guys don't already. All that stuff is below me in the video, and it's also in our YouTube description. Just signing off, I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I am Liz Seiko.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.